Welcome back aboard BLERD Force 1 with your boys Mo and Ladi. And today we're reviewing Batman Cape Crusader, a brand new Batman animated series coming to you from Prime Video. So, what do we think about it, and should you be watching? And before we get into this review, get down there, hit like on this video. Ladi, I feel like, Gen X and millennials are getting served so much this year. Am I wrong about this? Because we had X-Men 97, we had, Deadpool and Wolverine. Now we have Batman Cape Crusader. And I swear it's just like they just want me to sit in front of a TV with a bowl of cereal. Am I right? Am I right about this?
Yeah.
It's only 10 episodes, unfortunately, but this is another reimagining of Batman, but more like its golden age, version, if you will. So it's a bit Batman the Animated Series, but more noir, more pulpish. Anyway, we've had about I don't know 5-6 days to really drink it in, think about it. A lot of people have been chiming in about it, but what did you think about it, sir?
Dun, 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 dun. I had that theme playing in my back, like in the back of my head, listening to that. I mean, watching that show. In my opinion, I want to give the show at least a 9.5 out of 10. I almost want to say a 9.8. It's not a 10 out of 10, which is not anything against the show. It's not better than Batman the Animated Series, but my goodness, it is very close. What a superb show. There's very few shows that when the show ended, I was mad, and not mad because it sucked. I'm mad that why don't I get an episode 11? Where's episode 12? Damn it, I need more, please.
Yeah, the way animation goes nowadays. I don't like streaming because of how it's shortened seasons, but they don't see a big upside in going more than 10 episodes. But that being said, my God, this is a great. You know what? Someone said this is peak DC, and if you feel that way, I'm not mad at you. I won't even disagree with you. It is certainly right up there with Batman the Animated Series. Now I haven't watched it in a long time, but it's such an important part of my childhood, teen years, and such quintessential Batman. And I was like, oh cool, they're gonna do more noir. It's gonna be more detective. It's gonna be more like the Golden Age Batman. And the way they leaned into it and made it make so much sense, but also the sense of style, the sense of place. There's a lot of interesting character design going on in this show. There's a kind of recontextualization of certain villains that have gotten a lot of way more eccentric in more modern iterations, but kind of going back to that somewhat simpler time in the 30s and 40s was just such a great idea, because when something weird or supernatural does happen, it doesn't have to be Superman. It can just be something a ghost or something like that. And all the while, Gotham City is a character in and of itself. There's plenty of showing all kind of the ugly underside of it. There are some changes to some characters that I think for the better. Like I really enjoyed Penguin being gender bent. I really enjoyed Harley Quinn not having the Joker, but instead having her own thing.
Let's talk about.
There's just a lot. This show to me was a group of people who really love this character, really kind of get what this character is about, and not just the character, but the people surrounding the supporting cast. And really understanding how to tell a good and effective Batman story, while also sort of letting Batman be kind of a supporting character sometimes in his own show. But in so doing, we get a lot more kind of meat on the bones, if you will, than just he's in a cape and he's got a grappling gun and he's beating people up. There's a lot more meat to the stories than just that. So yeah, but I 10 out of 10 is fine for me. I'm not gonna say this isn't great. This is an awesome show. Anyone who thinks they like Batman should watch it. So, that said, yes, let's talk some spoilers. We should talk. Let's talk about Harley Quinn. I'm assuming that's who you want to talk about, right?
No, actually, I want to quickly.
Oh, Penguin.
I want to talk about female Penguin. I'm just gonna say it. That's the hill you guys want to die on. Penguin. Of all the characters of Batman, that's the hill that you're ready to die on. Penguin, one of the lesser Batman villains. He's one of the most uninteresting villains in Batman. He is so early Batman. Like, once Batman becomes somewhat of a veteran, Penguin is not even. I don't even consider Penguin a B tier villain. You're like a C tier,
Well,
and you're
yeah,
up in arms over him being a woman.
it just it depends on the writers. 'Cause some writers really quite like Penguin and are able to more play up his being kind of like a bit of a genius mob boss, basically. So there are some ways to make him interesting. I know, you know what? I have to be honest. Being mad about the gender bending of Penguin is some bullshit to me, because Batman stories have literally been told for, I mean, what is it at this point? Damn near 100 years, 80 something years, right?
Yeah.
And he has gone so many places and done so many things in he's had different versions of the same villain. Supposedly there's 3 different Jokers. There's all this stuff going on, all this crazy weird stuff. You have Clayface, who is literally at some point, especially in the animated series, was just a clay monster that can do anything. But swapping sex of the Penguin, that's where you draw the line. Shut up. That's all I want to say. You just want to keep doing the same shit over and over again. And the fact that they were like, let's flip it and see what does that actually mean for Penguin as a character. And they followed it through. It was interesting. I think. Also, shout out to Minnie Driver for like really making the character sing. So that's just silliness. But of course, that's the sort of thing I expect from certain, so-called fans that don't. How are you? I just don't understand how you into comic book stuff and you can't roll with the punches. Like, it's weird. Just anyway, I liked Penguin. I have to be honest. I don't think there was a villain I didn't like in this one.
I sort of like how they gave what's his name a little bit of a redemption arc. I like that. I really like how they gave him his little bit of a redemption arc.
Are you talking about Harvey?
Two-Face.
Harvey, yeah.
Yeah, Two-Face with his I also like how Batman, Bruce Wayne is the mask. I just love how he's like, vote for my friend Harvey Dent. Get me out of here, Alfred.
So let's talk about Bruce before we circle back around to the villains, who are again all quite excellent. First of all, Hamish Linklater, great job doing the Batman voice without trying to mimic Conroy too much, and also the characterization of Bruce Wayne as the mask and Batman as the real person is so seriously on display in this movie. Like the contrast between Bruce Wayne and Batman in their mannerisms, the way their speech patterns, all that stuff is so crazy that they even had to call it out in the episode where Harley Quinn, as Dr. Quinzel, is basically doing her psychoanalyzing Bruce and realizing, oh, everything he's saying to me is bullshit. Like she's the only person that's clocked that Bruce Wayne is a bullshit facade. That's beautiful, absolute. I love, and this is a shout out to the writers. Ed Brubaker was the head writer on this, who, as I've mentioned before, he wrote the Death of Captain America. He created the Winter Soldier. Like, that's that guy. And he brought in so much good talent to write on this show. It's amazing. This show is got top-notch talent on it. Some
Yeah.
people we didn't know, some people we did know, some people we didn't know. And their ability to kind of really draw this portrait of a really kind of damaged Bruce Wayne, who is now actually just Batman, and his relationship with other people and his relationship with Alfred, which, by the way, made some people real mad. But I don't know if you saw that. People were they were hot. They're like, how dare you treat Alfred like this? And all I could think was, people, it's a show. There's character development. Just hold on a minute. Wait till the end of the season before you get mad about this.
I feel like I feel like one of the things that young, I mean not really young, but just DC fans in general, they're so used to the older Batman. And I've had to explain this to people so many times that the Batman that you're used to seeing is the Batman that's almost 40. He's been Batman for like 15, 20 years. You know,
He's seen some stuff.
that's the Batman you're used to seeing. DC is now exploring the younger Batman, the man that has only been Batman for the Batman movie called the Batman. He's only been Batman for maybe at most 2 years, and in this movie, he's probably only been Batman for maybe a month because I mean in this TV show, they talk about Batman like he's an urban legend, like he's like
Yeah.
the boogeyman. Like you believe in that dude, like.
Yeah.
That's how they talk about Batman.
Until they
like he doesn't exist.
until they actually see him, and he starts interacting with everybody. It's, I mean, he's still a broken person, and it kind of shows in this. But like, there's a whole, I like that they follow that through, because it did throw me off. I'm like, you calling this man Pennyworth? What is wrong with you? Until, of course, they circle back around to the final episode where he calls him Alfred, and I'm like, there you go. Like we're just seeing character growth. That's all that is. He's also surrounded by some really cool characters. Some obvious usual suspects like Barbara Gordon, Commissioner. Well, he's not. He's Commissioner in this. An older Commissioner Gordon. Harleen Quinzel, who is she's psychiatrist that they call on.
Who's also a psychopath.
But also, yes, she's a, what I like to say, she's a socialist icon, because the way let's talk about Harley. She is not that fun-loving, put in, big hammer. She's not her. That's not who she is. She is kind of terrifying, maybe a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, if you really think about it, let's examine if Bruce Wayne, if Batman Bruce Wayne wasn't so annoyed with her, he probably would have took up on her offer and she would have kidnapped her.
Well, I think more. Well, I agree with you. That was a threat and not like a. It was an offer of help with a threat also on it. But also, you realize that it's basically, there are two people who have studied basically psychoanalyzing people, but she's an expert at it, and he's very knowledgeable, and so they pretty much their sessions were always two people who were, one person that was trying to get behind the facade of someone who knows the tricks, so they never got anywhere. But I really liked her character. Especially as we see her outside of her costume and inside of her costume. She's kind of forward. She goes out on a date with Detective Montoya, which was really cute. But when she puts that, the Harley Quinn, the Jester outfit on, she is basically Batmaning these rich assholes who are exploiting people. So, like I said, socialist icon. She's kind of like, okay, you guys won't treat people like real human beings. I guess I'm going to have to do this the hard way. And, proceeds to basically emotionally scar them for their own good. It's a really cool idea. And I'm so glad that they made her different than the Harley Quinn we know and love. Because I think there's room for just like different interpretations, and that's an interesting interpretation. And also, you weirdos talking about how she doesn't look, quotes, sexy or whatever the way you're thinking. Just like, you can always go back to the other one. Like that's weird. Like I'm just saying that's. I get wanting to like have a certain, you want her to look like Margot Robbie, but like it's
This
not
is the
necessary. Yeah,
1950s. This is the 19. The show's based in like
I
the
think it's the
1950s.
40. I think it's the 40s, but still, your point
Exactly.
stands.
Women are not gonna look like that.
It,
Get
it's
over it.
it's just weird. Like I don't know.
You gotta be like, let's be honest. Who was the sexiest, like one of the sexiest women back then? It was like Marilyn Monroe, and that was the 60s.
Yeah,
Compared to what Marilyn Monroe was wearing, and compare that to what women,
yeah.
were
It's
wearing, and compared to women, it's just not the same.
I think the other thing is that like there's this expectation like she's supposed to be a certain type of character like we saw in the original, and that's just she's her origin's different here. Same person, origin somewhat different. There's no Joker, and so she's not going to be that character. She's a lot more cerebral. She's smart as fuck, very cerebral, and has like a really good plan. So it was just very refreshing, I think. And I still love the original Harley Quinn, so I'm not taking that away. There's other stuff in here like this is like there,
Clayface being a serial killer.
yeah, and being like being a actor that actually decides that all right, I like killing, but also has like a really interesting sort of sort of Silver Age ish kind of backstory where he gets a serum and it makes him be able to change his face. That's pretty cool. I mean, but it's more of a straightforward like crime thing. But we get like supernatural stuff like episode 8 Nocturne where we see kind of basically a spirit vampire girl, and it's all about like kids getting kidnapped and the carnival and all this. It's like really that's a really cool and interesting angle. And then beyond all of that, you got of course Harvey Dent's descent into becoming Two-Face, and Boss Thorne, who is basically the Falcone of this particular series, kind of pulling strings here and there. And we have Flash and Bullock being shitty, crooked cops. So there's like,
Oh, man.
I mean, Barbara Gordon is,
Get me started.
they aged Barbara Gordon up, so she's a public defender, and like she's really cool
Oh,
at
she has to
that.
go through her little thing of, listen, I just literally got you the best deal, and you tried to kill me. Like
Yeah,
this show is, like I said, this is a very, very adult show that is having Batman do stuff. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like Batman doing stuff. It's really good.
And he's not afraid to punch because he knows cops are crooked, so he's not bothered with like punching them. He will help them, but like there's just all that stuff going on. Oh, and I didn't even mention Catwoman, who is just wonderful. I love this version of Catwoman. She's Robin Hood with no real desire to give to the poor, basically. But her sparring with Batman is always fun in any iteration. Very fun in this one. There's just so much good about this show that it's hard to just contain it to just like our review. All I can say is y'all have got to, if you like any Batman anytime, you should watch it. Just so you can get another look at him. But if you like the animated series, this show is like for those kids who like that show and now you're grown up. So you should, I mean, you got to be into it. I've seen it, it's so good. The show's so good. It kicked The Boys off as #1 over the last weekend. So that says something. It's a great iteration of the character, and you all should be watching. So anyway, I think that's all of our thoughts for this series. What did you guys think about it? What did you think about what we had to say? Get down to the comment section, leave your thoughts there. Of course, you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com, blerd_force1 on Instagram and on Threads, and it's super_not_funny_show on TikTok. And while you're doing that, do us a favor, get down there, hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. All that good stuff helps to grow this channel, helps more people to see reviews and all of the other content that we make. All right, thanks for joining us. Come back, and we're going to be doing many more reviews and reactions, and of course, the Supercast. So until then, I've been Mo, your comment extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, video game designer, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend Ladi. We'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you.